Now I'm live. What's up, guys? This is the sports nerd, Brad Walker. Welcome to the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. Guys, again, I'm sweating here as I just hopped out of the shower. I made myself a nice grilled chicken and rice for dinner tonight. But I am here back. And, guys, again, a public service announcement. The Sunshine State Sports Jabber usually, guys, is on Mondays. It has been permanently moved to Fridays from 9 to 10 p.m. So I will be back here tomorrow night, guys. Once again, I'm doing back-to-back nights. It makes it easier for me to prepare throughout the week for both of my shows instead of doing one on Monday coming off the weekend. It's kind of hard to prepare when you're coming off of a weekend sometimes. Sometimes if it's a good weekend, it's really hard. Guys, if you want some In the Zone Sports Talk Radio gear, head over to squadlocker.com, type in the Zone Sports Talk Radio. You can go ahead and order your gear there. Again, guys, it is awesome gear. I have some of my own. Guys, we are also sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com. This is the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida, for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you, adding comfort to your life. And guys, remember, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. Hopefully, guys, everyone out there is having an awesome Thursday. We are now one day away from Friday. I think in my neck of the woods, it's going to cool down one more time. I think it's going to be, the high is only supposed to be 65, and for us Floridians, that's cold. Not to me, but it is, in most of the country, it's not cold at all. But we're here live, guys. We got a power-packed show for you this evening. So let me go ahead, guys. I believe Adam is running late. So let me bring Lou on. Lou, good evening. How are you doing, bud?
Good evening, Riley. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, yes. Fool's Day.
Yes, Yes, that's right. April. I'd rather say Happy Opening Day. I'd rather say Happy.
Right, of course.
For Major League Baseball.
Right. Well, unfortunately, the Yankees had it going there, but then we look like fools at the end. So.
Did you guys lose to the Blue Jays?
We lost to the Goofy Bluebirds. Yes, in extra innings.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, I know you guys were leading, or it was tied in the ninth inning.
For the sixth inning, then the Blue Jays tied it up.
Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. All right, so let me. We'll kind of wait for Adam, but we can kind of do a little MLB scoreboard. I know the Red Sox game got postponed today due to rain.
Right.
So they didn't play today against the Orange Birds in Baltimore.
Yeah. I wonder that's going to be this year. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll personally say this. I think it's going to be a two-team race between the Yankees and the Rays in the AL East. We'll talk about that later in the show, but that's where I think, Lewis, to be honest with you, I think that's going to be a two-team race. The Jays are going to pose the threat. I just don't – they're just too young right now to pose the threat at the immediate moment. Okay, so let's see here. So, yeah, the Jays beat the Yankees 3-2 in 10. The Tigers beat the Indians 3-2. The Brewers beat the Twins 6-5 in 10. The Pirates beat the Cubs 5-3. The Phillies beat the Braves 3-2 in 10. 8-5 Rockies over the Dodgers. The Padres got off to a good start, 8-7 there. And then the Cardinals beat the Reds 11-6, and the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Florida Marlins 1-0. On an Austin Meadows 8th inning solo home run. I listened to some of the game on the radio on my way home because I got in my car right as first pitch was being thrown. That was kind of cool for the Rays. Is there anything, Lewis, you want to talk about while we're waiting for Adam to pop in here?
Well, because there was one thing to mention. Oh wait, Adam's here, so maybe I'll hold off.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
It looks like he's outside. It looks like he's outside.
Yeah, I'm running late.
I see. Yeah, well,
good.
It wasn't all great for baseball because while one game got rained out, another one, with the Mets and the Nationals, as COVID strikes again, they had to postpone today's game. Tomorrow they won't play either. They're hoping to play Saturday. I mean, but the thing, only one player – got infected with the virus, and they had to postpone the game anyway. I mean, come on, because of one player, that's ridiculous.
I mean, I agree with you. They probably should have quarantined the player and then let everyone play.
One player.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand, why they did that. I mean, and on top of that, Lewis, to be honest with you, if it was one player, why are they not playing tomorrow? If it was one guy,
Right.
you should be clear. And I'm assuming that MLB does daily testing, or at least every other day.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be doing something like that to protect their players. I'd imagine. I don't know. I'd imagine doing that.
They're calling it abundance of caution. I can think of some other things to call it, but I won't say it here.
No, it's quite interesting how it is interesting that they canceled 2 games for that. It's actually
Concerning?
but then again, I guess they're gonna try to play. But see, that's the whole thing is now how are they gonna make those games up? They're gonna
I
make
don't know.
teams play against on a day off.
I mean, you got 27 players on a team. You can't pull somebody out to take his place. I mean, really.
Right.
I would think so because
Dumb.
yeah. I mean, that was what I would do. I mean, you set that guy out, pull a guy up from the minors, and you got bench players, so why not put a bench player in there?
Exactly.
For the time being? Yeah. So
I would think that would be something you could do.
yeah. And
I swear.
I didn't mean to cut off on Saturday on you, man. I lost internet connection when I got to the stadium. I'm sorry.
That's all good. I just finished off on strong on my own. Yeah, like if running late was an Olympic sport, I'd still be late.
Oh dear.
I'm working on it. I decided to start. I joined the local theater group because I love theater, love acting, and the first rehearsal was tonight, and I'm outside of there and headed home. I'm still running late.
What's the play?
What's the play?
It's called Greater Tuna.
Uh-huh.
It's about Texas radio station. Kind of silly, kind of a satire on Southern values.
Okay.
It's pretty funny. So getting that started and then trying to do all this stuff and forgetting stuff. And
No, I was running late anyway. I guess I just told Lewis I just got out of the shower right before I had to get on here. So yeah, it's all good.
You get in for a play too? No.
Yeah.
It's a consummate professionals over here that we are.
Yeah. I actually, on Saturday, I actually tried to get back on with you at the stadium, but it was so loud. I don't think you didn't hear me talking.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. It happened. Yeah, I was planning on doing that show solo anyway, so I ain't too worried about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to the stadium. I'm like, let me try and see if I can sit down in the bleachers and talk. I'm like, yeah, he's not going to be able to hear me anyway. Their music is so damn loud. He wouldn't have been able to hear me anyway.
I'm all washed up here, and then I will. If I can get my computer to cooperate, which we both know that that's a hit or miss. I'm gonna go ahead and drop out of here, and then I'll hop back in over there.
Right, I'm gonna grab
once I know that my computer's going to cooperate.
Just a second, guys. I'm gonna grab these over here.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot to grab shrinks this evening, and now I got them right here. So
Okay.
Close that. Find the link.
Anything, Lou, that you talked about on your show on Saturday that you want to bring up?
Oh, we got a bunch of stuff. I don't even know if we're going to get even all in on Saturday because we're going to discuss, of course, the Final Four. I'll even cover the NIT. I know that you're going to do what? Yes, I am going to cover that because they have the championship. Maybe I'll even cover the women's Final Four as well. Of course, spring opening day for baseball. We'll look at the NBA and NHL standings. And I got a whole bunch of my own features coming up. And I'll even throw in some wishes for people of who celebrate Passover and Easter. So just like I do at Christmas. So it's going to be a lot to talk about. We got our sports trivia. We got our sports history of, for the past week and everything. So it's going to be a lot to cover in 2 hours. And I hope a lot of people can make it.
Good. That's good.
I
All
know it's
right.
gonna be murder.
Well, I mean, let's see. The first topic that I had up here is because we were just coming off of a fight over the weekend, so I figured we could talk about the UFC first.
Yeah.
There was a
Yeah. Sounds good.
big move, and I guess the guy that knocked out Marak, who took his title from him, he wants John Jones. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, good luck with that. I mean,
Yeah. Definitely good luck with that. I thought Jones wasn't gonna fight no more. But I guess I was mistaken.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
supposedly I saw something the other day that they offered him $10 million and he turned it down. So either he doesn't want to fight
What are
no
you
more,
nuts?
or that's not enough money for him.
That's I'm gonna take $10 million.
Not enough money, huh?
Not with the team he's got.
It's only $10 million. What are we gonna do with that? Yeah.
When I get my head kicked in.
For $10 million, I would.
I would too.
You got the pedigree he's got.
I get in the ring, he can hit me with one punch, I just fall down. Yep, I got my $10 million. There we go.
I'm a rich man now. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like it says that they can't come to financial terms, which means Ngannoue's first defense is expected to be against Lewis. The two first fought on July 7th, 2018. All right, we can bring that back on here. Hang on a minute. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. All right.
We shrunk.
Right there. And Lewis won that fight by unanimous decision. So we'll have to wait and see on how they what they do with that particular. So again, John Jones, obviously it's going to take more than $10 million, probably maybe in the $20-25 million range.
Yeah. What does he want?
At least 15. At least 15. We'll start it at 1.5 and go from there.
Do I hear 20? Do I hear 20?
Right?
Could be that too. I would say between 20 and 25, I think, before you see him come back.
Well, and I think a lot of it has to do, it's the pedigree.
Yes.
He's one of the biggest draws in UFC. He's one of the guys that everybody talks about. He's one of the guys that everybody wants to see fight.
Yes.
So he's going to command top dollar, and he knows it.
Yeah.
And so he's going to get his money.
Well, especially, too, if the guy he's fighting has a title around his waist, too. That's going to anticipate him, too, to come back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And Ngannou just won over this past weekend. He won the belt. So now
right.
He's going to want, Now, I don't know if Jones wants to fight in the heavyweight division because that's the last time I heard that he wanted to fight in that weight division. So
I hadn't heard that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
He'd be better off as he gets older going down in a weight class or two and fighting in the light heavyweight or even middleweight.
Right. Well, I mean, I know at one time, and I'm sure you guys heard both too, he wanted to challenge Brock Lesnar, who's in the heavyweight.
Super heavyweight?
Yeah, super heavyweight.
He wanted to fight him, so I don't know.
I don't like this.
I don't know if that'll exactly happen in the near future or not.
Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
No, probably not. I can't see Lesnar wanting to suit up against Jones. Because I think Jones
paper, but I don't know.
Well, it would be a big draw for UFC, obviously.
It would be a huge draw for UFC, but
absolutely.
They'd want that fight to happen, but I don't think that's going to happen either, to be honest with you. So, I don't see that.
He said 10 mil is way too low is the quote from he's only he's at 6'4", 205. And Lesnar is at least 260. So to me, there's no way that they would even.
Yeah, he's about weight 35 pounds.
Yeah, he's built at 6'3", 286. Okay. I can't imagine UFC in good conscience sanctioning that fight.
No, I think Jones would have to gain weight before that would happen.
No, a lot of weight.
Yeah,
you're talking And for a guy who normally fights at 205, 210, 215, that's just weight you just wouldn't be effective.
Or I mean, even the hypothetical situation, you'd have to have Lesnar lose a lot of weight.
Even if you had Lesnar come down, Lesnar wouldn't be comfortable fighting at I don't think Lesnar would be comfortable fighting at 250.
No, I don't think so either.
Or even 240. Let me see. Let me do a little bit of. Go ahead.
I think at 240 be comfortable.
I mean, that's a lad's dropping 40 pounds.
Yeah. You know what? Again, and then you know what? It depends on the money situation too. If they say, "Hey, drop 40 pounds, we'll pay you 30 million," he might do it. Okay, he might do that. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's scary.
Yeah.
So when he wrestles at 286. When he's
286.
when he UFCs, when he mixed martial arts is whatever you're gonna call that. He drops down to 265.
Oh, so Lesnar drops to 265. Okay.
Right. Which is still another 20 pounds to lose, and that's one of the biggest things that you have with fighters is cutting too much weight.
And then Jones would have to go up 60 pounds. That ain't gonna happen.
or 40 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if they both came down to about two, or they could fight crossweight though.
Okay.
Jones could come up to like 230, and Lesnar could stay at 265, and they could fight crossweight.
Yeah, again, I think that all depends too on how
I wouldn't do it.
Money is involved with that.
Yeah, you'd have to throw. Well, I weigh just right at 200 pounds, and I am 200 pounds of flab. And to get down to my ideal fight weight, it would be right around 130. And at 145, somewhere in there, you're talking about cutting 50 pounds and getting into fighting shape. And I couldn't imagine fighting at 200. I'm too fat and slow at 200, and I know it. I know I would get my ass kicked at 200. So going, that's even that 40 pounds. Even if I was to drop down to 165 to fight, right? That extra 40 pounds is just killer.
Well, I'm at 246, but the doc told me on last week that I have to. My ideal weight is 200 pounds, so I've been walking the last 3 days prior to today. It's been nice actually, and again,
it sounds like it's going to be nice again for the rest of the week.
I've been eating healthier, a little bit healthier.
I saw that.
Yeah, so
that chicken looked pretty good, but that rice looked really bland.
Yeah, I didn't have anything on it. I had butter in it. That was not enough. I need to make some gravy or something next time.
What you can do, and I'm a cook. I love to cook. Get yourself some low sodium beef broth, and use beef broth to make your rice instead of water. Do you use instant rice?
I use boil in a bag, so it was yeah.
Just get some instant rice and switch out for a low sodium or no sodium beef stock. Or beef broth, or chicken, or obviously you had chicken tonight, so chicken stock would be low sodium, no sodium chicken stock, and then you can add all kinds of flavors like rosemary, thyme, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper to your water, and that'll really brighten and bring up your rice.
Yeah. That sounds good, buddy.
And it won't just be white rice on a on a plate.
Yeah. Right. That's all it was too. That's all it was.
It looked very boring, honestly. I was like, that rice looks awfully boring. Hey, I mean, but you got to do what you got to do to eat right and live better and all that good stuff. So I don't blame you as I drink another beer.
No, actually, that was the first time I had grilled chicken too, and I was impressed that I did. It was so juicy. I didn't overcook it. I didn't. Of course, if I had salmonella poison, I obviously wouldn't be sitting here talking to you fellas. I'd be in the hospital right now or in the bathroom throwing up. So obviously, I did something.
You'd be on the toilet one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's coming out of both ends at the same time. Yeah, that would be.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh yeah,
that's the worst.
Yeah. So again, I must have done something right because again, I'm not in the bathroom, so I'm good. No salmon for me.
One of the best things to do is get a meat thermometer.
I have to buy one of those.
You can get them for like $10 at Walmart, if not less. I think I got like got a 98-cent one. You just stick it in the thing and push the button, and away you go. And then I've been cooking so long. I've been cooking for the better part of 20 years. Between with my parents and then on my own, I've gotten pretty adept at knowing when something's done and when something's not done.
Yeah.
And I like my chicken at 160 or above.
Yeah, I looked it up, but they said between 160 and 165 is like ideal temperature for chicken.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like ideal.
And then if you don't trust your thermometer, the easiest thing to do is just cut it open.
That's what I did. I cut mine open,
and as long as it's white all the way through.
Yeah,
like a minuscule amount of pink. If it's just like a little pink, it's not going to kill you. Your 159, 158 is not going to kill you.
No, because the first time as I was cooking it the first time around, it was very pink. I'm like, yeah, that's a hospital. That's a hospital.
Hospital visit. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, you got to get that. To pull this back to sports, you got to get on that TB12 diet.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But he's doing pretty well though from his knee surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
I too.
What I heard.
Yeah, avocado ice cream and all that.
Yeah. That's what he likes.
It's Lou's favorite topic.
Yeah, Lou's favorite topic.
Okay, what happened this time?
No, they're talking about a XFL, CFL smart season.
Yeah, I know.
So it looks like they're proposing the XFL and CFL to start training camp in March and have a 10-game regular season. Then they're going to have an interleague playoff, and then there's going to be eight games in a 3-week playoff scenario for
8 games in 3 weeks.
That's what they're.
Okay, that's got to be multiple teams then, right?
Yeah. I think I want to say it looks like to me, from what I'm reading, guys, it looks like to me that they're going to play against each other. So they're going to play let's say the best 4 teams from the XFL against the best 4 teams of the CFL in an interleague playoff. So they must be sharing a championship then at that point. I don't know.
Now, whose rules are they going to play under?
That's a very good question. I would say football.
Do you think it goes to like in the ALNL where the home team gets the rules?
It could be. I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe they'll have 2 games in the
XFL games
and then 2 in Canada. They might just do it that way. I mean, when I was at the Outback, they had CFL scouts. CFL scouts were there, scouting college players. So
the only thing CFL football is fun every now and again. Like I'll watch the Ramblers or whatever their name is, and it's fun every now and again. But the thing I don't like about Canadian football is the 3 downs.
No,
it makes it so hard to actually plan anything out because if you don't pick up enough yards on 1st and 2nd down, then 3rd down is just a punting down. Oh, I like that. I like 3rd down being the decision down.
Yeah,
maybe it's because that's how I grew up, and I grew up with American football, and 4 quarters, 4 downs, 60 minutes.
Exactly, it's the way it should be.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Again, I
don't think for 2022, right?
2022.
Yeah.
So next year. They're planning to start next year. Yeah.
No. All right. Are they planning on doing this next year then?
That's what they're talking about. But next year at this time, that's when they're going to start their games.
Okay. Okay.
I don't see why just to give up. I mean, all the other leagues failed. The other league from a few years ago that failed, but yet XFL just wanted,
it's like a zombie. You just can't kill it. You just can't kill it.
Yeah,
shoot it in the head.
They're living dead.
Again, it goes back to what I've been saying for a decade now, at least if not longer. The reason why leagues can't succeed against the NFL, and this is true of all startup leagues except for maybe in baseball. Right. Baseball seems to be the only sport that you can start up a league and be competitive. I don't know why baseball is the only sport that seems to be true about, but and not competitive with the MLB, but just be competitive and have good teams and have interesting baseball. And maybe it's because baseball is so, anybody can play baseball. Maybe not well, but anybody can play baseball. And so baseball, your local team and your local heroes, they're fun. But to play football.
But you failed once, so and then 20 years later you're back again. While other leagues who have failed, just once never came back. So
yeah,
why does the XFL keep on trying to torture itself?
And I, as I started to say before I got off on the tangent about baseball, the problem with starting up a football league is that there's just no capital. And the thing about, the most successful league to go against the two most successful leagues to go against the NFL had money. And they had the ability to pay players to come play for them. And me and Brad have talked about this at least a dozen times. The XFL just didn't have the money to lure any top talent away.
Right.
2 years ago, 2019, when it was or at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, when they're trying to get it off the ground, I forget who the number one pick in 2020 was. Joe Burrows. Sorry, I totally blanked. Joe Burrows was not going and playing in the XFL. They just didn't have the money. They didn't have the capital. And 40 years ago, they had the money to lure away Jim Kelly and Steve Young and guys like that. And then 20 years before that, 30 years before that, when the AFL, the American Football, what would eventually become the American Football Conference, again, they had money. They had powerful backers, they had people that cared about the sport and wanted to see it be successful. And that's what you need as to corner markets that don't have an NFL team. And there's we're 100 plus years on with the NFL now. It's very hard to court new fans or court fans to a new team because, Bradley, you were what, 5 or 6 and the Bucks were already there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, my first Bucks game was in 1987. I was 4 or 5.
And the Bucks had already been in town
I think
for 10 years, almost 10 years. 76, I believe it was.
Right.
Yeah.
And then yet you look
76.
I believe so. 76 or 79. I want to say 76. That's what I thought. But you look at other teams that and we were talking about that. Obviously the Bucks, unfortunately, there wasn't hardly any attendance last year until the very, very end of the season. Mm-hmm. But you look at the fact that, in 2019 and early 2020, that XFL team there in Tampa wasn't able to draw about 5,000, 6,000 fans.
Right.
Yeah. Not very, and they were giving away free tickets to their season ticket holders. So that's what to get people to come in the stadium. Yeah.
And it's very hard to give away tickets and make money.
Exactly.
And I don't mean to rag on the XFL. I'm sure Lou will do enough of that for me. But again, it goes back to capital, money. You've got to have the money.
Yeah.
You can't have one billionaire. You need 10 or 15 billionaires to be able to put up billions of dollars, to be able to to get competitive and start a league. And that's why so many of these leagues just fold after a year and a half. They just don't have the money and they don't have the backers.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what The Rock has up his sleeve, but I guess he believes he does have the right people and the right.
I'm trying to bring back the AAF. Well, maybe not. That would be a stupid idea.
Yeah.
I mean, they both have failed, and there's
that was even a bigger failure than the original XFL. It was even a bigger failure.
Well, they were talking about moving the Tampa team to Orlando, moving the Vipers out of here and moving them to Orlando because there's more people in Orlando than there is in Tampa. So they figured they would move them to Orlando, but I think it's going to work there either because they had an Arena League team in Orlando. That didn't work out either after a while. Everyone got tired of that. So
in Orlando is too much of a tourist town.
It is.
Orlando, there's Universal and Disney's. I couldn't remember if Disney was in Orlando or not.
SeaWorld's in Orlando.
Busch Gardens.
That's in Tampa. Busch Gardens is in Tampa.
Oh, it's Tampa. Okay, I thought there was a.
Universal, SeaWorld, and Disney. Big three major parks in.
That's a big tourist attraction right there. So
and they don't. It's so hard to establish yourself as a new team in a new market when you got scrubs. When you've got, we're not talking about we're talking about college cast offs.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Or
guys that were going in the 6th or 7th or undrafted.
Yep, that is true. Again, I don't know how it's going to work, but I told the website that I write for that if the Vipers were here, I would cover them again. So we'll see if they stay in Tampa. We'll see what happens. You can't say one way or the other. So
as a sportscaster, I'd like them to succeed. They give me more to talk about.
Yeah,
the Vipers are what? Because I think there's another team that's Vipers, but that's hockey. That's a minor league hockey.
Yeah, the Vipers were Detroit. They were
Detroit Vipers. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, they were. I forget. They were semi-pro or something like that back in the mid to late 90s.
AHL.
They were. I don't think the Vipers were an AHL team. I think the Vipers were some other league. Let me look it up real quick.
They were AHL.
Let me look it up. Internet IHL.
The IHL. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
But the IHL went under in, it looks like 2001, 2002.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah.
They went out of business. They actually made it 60 some odd years before they. And then so the 56 years, and they ceased operations, and six of the surviving 7 teams merged with the AHL in 2001.
Right.
They became AHL franchises. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, speaking of hockey, guys, the college hockey. There's the Frozen Four have been finalized.
Yep.
You have St. Cloud State versus Minnesota State, and UMass versus Minnesota Duluth. Now, here are how those 4 teams got to where they are located. Minnesota Duluth beat the North Dakota Sioux. UMass beat. Oh Jesus, what is that? How do you pronounce that name? Hang on just a second. I have to zoom in here, guys, because I can't.
Those names. Okay.
Is it Bemdevia State? I can't even read that. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, like that.
Minnesota State beat Minnesota, and then St. Cloud State beat Boston College. So there's some big teams that they ended up beating to get to the Frozen Four to set up. I don't think that a lot of them predicted that these 4 teams would be in the Frozen Four. I don't think anyone
Not me.
4 teams.
No.
North Dakota, I would have thought that those two both would have been in the Frozen Four, in my opinion, in hockey.
North Dakota, Maine.
Yeah.
UT.
Because the national championship, guys, is slated a week from, the 10th. So it's a week from Saturday.
Okay.
Yep.
Saturday we'll have the 2 games are on ESPN2. The South Cloud State versus Minnesota State's at 5 p.m. and then at 9 p.m. is UMass and Minnesota Duluth. So those.
Thursday?
That would be Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday, the 8th, was when they'll be playing again. So we can talk about that next week to see who wins that. They're playing in Pittsburgh, or the Penguins play at the B&G Paint Center in Pittsburgh. So I just thought I'd bring that up. I saw that. I'm like, I heard about them talking about it on ESPN. I'm like, we didn't talk about college hockey.
Yeah, we didn't talk a lot about
Very
a lot of
few of
college
us
hockey.
do.
Their
I
tournaments.
like college hockey. I love college hockey.
Yeah. I got into it in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, me too.
I think
I remember
next time it comes down here to Amway Arena, I'm going to go. I'm going to get a ticket and go.
I love college hockey. College hockey is incredible. I remember Friday nights in the fall, man. Anytime after November 1st, man, you come home Friday night after going shopping and kick on FSD, and there it was, college hockey. Michigan State. It seemed like every week Michigan State. Now I know it wasn't, but
I used to watch Notre Dame play on Friday nights. That was
over
NBC. Notre Dame was always on NBC, and that would be them. I watched them every Friday night.
I hate Notre Dame, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I
digress.
Okay.
So we'll have to watch, guys, and see who comes up with who wins there. And let's go back to this topic, since this was the topic that we talked about 2 weeks ago, and how the bracket went bye-bye.
My bracket went boom in week 1.
Well, here's
day one.
Here's the thing,
day
John.
1.
If you're feeling a little disgusted, it's because your bracket is busted.
I like that.
Yep.
So now the Final Four has been.
I have no one. Or maybe do I have Gonzaga? I have to look it up real quick.
Yeah, it's UCLA, Gonzaga, and Baylor and Houston are the Final Four teams.
Because I had Houston losing in round 1. I had Baylor losing in round 3. I had UCLA losing in round 3.
I think out of the 4 of them.
Cinderella.
But don't call UCLA an underdog or Cinderella, because they're not. I mean, UCLA,
they're a very good team.
It's a legendary basketball program. They've won more championships than I think anybody else in college basketball. I mean, yeah, they were a low seed this year, which I think was a bit misleading.
Yeah.
No, I would not call this a Cinderella story at all.
No, not like an Oral Roberts or
not at all. I mean, it's great what they're doing. I mean, it's like UCLA basketball, is back up there. That's legendary. Yeah. That's legendary. So, but don't call them a Cinderella team, even though they're 11th seed, because they are not a Cinderella team.
How many titles did they win when John Wooden was there? How many national titles? 10.
10, yeah.
10 in a row at least. I don't know how many 10. I don't.
67 to 70. 67 to 75. I think they went straight through. And you'll never see that again.
No, probably not.
Not with the one and done or something like that. No way.
No way. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
No, that's going away next year.
Yeah, there's no way. No way you'll see anything like that.
Probably not. No.
Again.
Do you think Gonzaga goes undefeated? Do you think the Zags win it all?
No, I don't. They'll win Saturday, I think, against UCLA, but there's always that one thing. Everybody thinks that, well, they've gone undefeated the whole season, and then when it gets to
right.
I think the gas tank is just ready to run on empty, and you can't run it empty. And
I remember when Wisconsin was undefeated going into the finals a couple years back, and they ended up
and UNLV. Oh yeah, you guys are tuned to remember that. But they were undefeated regular season and whatnot, and they lost like the second or third round.
Yeah.
So it's happened before. We haven't seen a true undefeated champion since 1976.
76. I couldn't remember what year it was. And that was that Indiana?
Indiana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that Bobby Knight?
Mm-hmm.
I thought so. I like call it.
That was in Indianapolis. Oh,
yeah. Never been crazy about college. This is the only time I follow college basketball, really. And I love the tournament. The tournament is so much fun, but
sure is.
During the regular season, I really don't follow college basketball.
Well, I think it's really hard. It's really hard to follow it during the regular season unless you follow one team. It's hard to follow everyone that's out there that's popular.
There's 350.
Yeah.
There are 350 Division I basketball teams.
Yeah.
Gee, I
looked it up the other night. No, I looked it up the other night. 350.
Well,
350 Division I.
I basically follow the Big East, the ACC, and the Pac-12. So, I take college basketball rather seriously.
That's cool. I like tournament basketball. It's the only time I follow the first couple of weeks. I'll watch some basketball, and then probably right around Christmas I'll watch some more because I got nothing going on. And then in February I'll watch a little bit more, and then in March I'll watch pretty much every game I can find.
I do like the in-season tournaments, though.
Those are fun.
They're kind of fun to watch. I mean, over Thanksgiving at the Maui Invitational.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's now I know.
I love the Aircraft Classic when they play out on the aircraft carrier. That's really cool.
Yeah, coaches versus cancer.
Yeah, when they play out on the deck, the aircraft carrier. Speaking of coaches, I'm going to address the elephant in the room.
I was just about to bring that up. That Roy Williams announced his retirement.
Yes. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. It's too bad. It's too bad he doesn't get to take a victory lap.
Yeah.
No.
I kind of wish he would come back for one more year and take a victory lap and let everyone celebrate his accomplishments and his legacy and ride off into the sunset. But I mean, if he's done, he's 70 years old, so it's not like he's quitting when he was, 35 or something.
No.
Where do you think he coached better at, guys? At Kansas or at North Carolina? Where do you think he's better?
I only knew him at North Carolina. I only saw him Chapel Hill, so I will defer to someone who's a little bit older.
He did win titles for UNC, so I think I have to go with that.
I mean, Tyler Hansbrough was a beast.
Yeah, he said he coached for Kansas between 1970 and 1988 before taking over. I'm sorry, he was under Dean Smith as an assistant at North Carolina for those 10 years. Then he took over the job in Kansas, and then he went 418 and 101 from 88 to 2003, and then he returned to the Tar Heels in the year
when Dean Smith called it a career.
Yeah, he went back and coached.
They're gonna have a hell of a time finding somebody to replace Roy Williams. I mean,
good luck with that one.
Right? What's Larry Brown up to these days?
That's a possibility.
He's 80s, so I mean, I don't know about that.
No.
So let's see. He won a national title and advanced to 2 Final Fours as Kansas's coach. They went to 4 Final Fours and twice finished as a national runner-up. So he won national title championships at North Carolina in 05, 09, and 2017. Yes. So he won 3 national titles as a head coach at UNC.
That 09 team was an outstanding basketball team.
Yes.
He's a first ballot, right?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Question.
He's going in tomorrow, right?
Well, he can't go in tomorrow, but he'll be first ballot.
Yeah,
I mean, there are certain people you just put in the Hall of Fame and you belay all that other. I mean, Roy Williams is got to be
tomorrow.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's got to be. He's got to be. They got to rate that. There's certain players that you just waive the rules for and put them in right away.
Well, they'll get first ballot.
Or people, I should say.
But I don't think they'll have an officially announced till I think September.
Right.
So it has to wait for a while. They'll get in, definitely, yes, but he'll have to wait till it's officially announced.
I think, and when Coach K hangs it up too, he'll be a first ballot officer.
Oh God, yes. If they don't, there are certain people that you've always got. I don't know if you ever watched the Dan Le Batard show.
I have,
but he used to have. He's got that gift there, and it's one of my favorites. There's that guy, and there's going to be one of those that guys. He's that guy, and that's not going to vote for Roy Williams because he's a Salte Duke fan or whatever.
Right.
And so he'll get in with 99.9% of the vote because he's just that guy. He's got to be that guy, even though he's universally loved and beloved everywhere but Duke. That Duke writer's not going to vote for him because it's just what you do.
Mm.
Well, just like Jeter, right? Jeter had everyone vote for McPherson. No, it was Rivera.
Right. Rivera
had one guy.
Yeah, Mario was the only. No. Jeter was the guy that had one guy that didn't vote for him.
Oh, okay.
Rivera was the only unanimous selection.
Okay.
There's always one every crowd, Adam.
I know. 2 in mine.
Must have been a Red Sox writer. Must have voted.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
Maybe an Orioles writer.
Somebody in the AL East.
Yeah.
Somebody in the AL East said, "Yeah, no."
I got a question that's gonna be. I'm gonna have asked on Saturday's show.
Okay.
About franchise teams. So be prepared for some interesting answers. Well, I know it.
Aren't they always?
Be losing my grip. Oh boy.
Well, it's a 10-year script to begin with, anyway.
Aha.
Yeah. Yep. All right, well, guys, we're getting closer now as we get close to the NFL draft happening later this month. So that would be interesting.
God, I can't wait for the draft. I love the draft.
So I'm going to go ahead, guys, and give you someone's mock draft here. We'll go down to starting with number 1. We all know Trevor Lawrence.
He's a lock at 1.
For the Jaguars.
Trevor Lawrence is the only lock at this point.
They have the Jets taking Zach Wilson out of BYU.
Yes.
I'd say 90%. I could see them going Justin Fields, but I'd say Wilson's probably a 90% lock.
No, I think this is a lock at 3. I think they moved up to 3. The 49ers, they moved to draft Mac Jones. I think that's a lock.
I don't think they'll take Jones. No? I think Jones will slip. I think they'll take if Fields is available, they take Fields. If Wilson's available, they'll take Wilson. I've seen that in a couple other mock drafts, and I think that they want to get back to that more mobile quarterback, like a Colin Kaepernick.
You don't think they'll take Trey Lance then? That's the case.
Maybe they might take Lance, but I think Lance could slip to 4 and go to Atlanta.
Well, they have the Falcons taking Kyle Pitts, the entire in out of Florida.
I've heard that they're high on him.
Yeah,
but they got to start thinking. They got to start thinking about the future because Matt Ryan's not getting any younger.
Correct.
Neither are we.
I mean, I try not to get any older every day, and then I drink another beer.
The next, the Bengals at 5 take Penny Swell, the offensive tackle out of Oregon. Yeah, that would, that would fit since your franchise quarterback got his ACL and MCL torn last year.
Out.
Draft offensive line now.
Now, what do you think about if the Falcons go quarterback instead of tight end? Do you see that? Do you still see the Bengals taking the offensive lineman, or do you see them snagging Pitts at 5?
Well, they may take Pitts if he's there because that would be a good weapon for Joe Burrow. Obviously, that would be.
Yeah.
Pitts is probably the number 1 overall tight end in the draft this year.
Easy, by far and away.
So I would think that, I mean, if he's available, that's a good question, but they might go that route. If not, then obviously they take the offensive lineman to get to help out Burrow.
Or they may surprise everybody and take Lamar Chase or Jamar, whatever his name is, the wide receiver out of LSU.
Actually, that's who they have Bud take the Dolphins taking him at 6, so he's the next one on the list. They have,
I think that I don't think they'll take. I think they'll go Waddle if he's available. I think they'll pair him up with Tua with that chemistry that they've already had.
Oh, from Alabama? Yeah.
I see that. I don't see them taking Chase. I see them taking Waddle because you have that that chemistry.
Now
you already had that established.
Here we go.
Wrong.
We're talking, but about Justin Fields. They have him.
They still haven't gone 7 at the Lions.
The Lions.
I would be incredibly disappointed in that pick.
Yeah,
I mean, what was the point of trading for Jared Goff if you're just going to take a quarterback anyway? Unless Goff becomes trade bait.
If you what night is it? Is it draft on a Thursday night or is it on a Wednesday?
Yeah, usually it's usually a Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Do you guys want to do like a?
We can do we can do a live
stream. Sit here and react to the picks that night. All right, so we'll just do that.
Absolutely.
Do that day. At 8, they have Trey Lance going at 8 to the
Carolina
Panthers. Yeah, to the Panthers.
If he's available, I see that happening. They need a quarterback desperately.
Then at 9, they have Patrick Surtain, the second out of Alabama, the cornerback,
going to Dallas.
That's the Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos? No, I don't know. I don't know about that. Denver needs help everywhere. Yeah. I could see them going offensive line too. I'm taking that kid out of Northwestern.
That's who they have to take. Dallas taking, but Northwestern offensive tackle. That's who they have. The Cowboys.
Yeah. 10. Yeah. If Surtain's off the board at 9, then I agree with that. Now, if Surtain is still on the board at 10, I have him going to Dallas.
And then they have the Giants taking Jalen Waddle, the wide receiver out of Alabama.
At 11?
At 11.
Yeah. Daniel Jones definitely. Danny Dimes needs a receiver.
And they have the Eagles taking Devontae Smith, the wide receiver from Alabama. I
would go offensive line.
Okay.
Hurts needs help. But if I can see that happening too.
Then they have Gregory Rousseau, the edge rusher from Miami, going to the Chargers at 13 to help Joey Bosa and company.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
They have the Vikings.
As long as he can play the other side. As long as he can play the other side and complement Bosa, it's a good pick.
I think that's what they said. Yeah, they said on the job across the line from Joey Bosa. So yeah, they believe he can play the other side. They have the Vikings taking Kiwa Pei, the edge rusher from Michigan, going
Quinny Pay.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's too high. He's at best an early second rounder.
Okay.
I know he impressed at the combine, but he disappeared in games too often. Well, especially last season, and he ended up getting hurt, and he would just disappear. And especially when Aiden Hutchinson, that's Steve Hutchinson's nephew. When Hutch went down, Quinny Pay disappeared. Unfortunately, I really liked him going into last season, but he disappeared. I wish he had another year of eligibility. I think it would have helped him. I'm just not, and I'm a Michigan guy. I bleed blue. So this is coming from a Michigan guy. I think it's too high.
Okay. They have the Patriots at 15 taking Jason Horn, the cornerback out of South Carolina.
Now, they had Mac Jones going at 3, right?
Correct.
Yes.
I think that New England goes with if he's still available. Obviously, if he's still available, I think he goes to New England. And I still think that they may go quarterback later, though. They may take up Kyle Trask.
Could be. Well, I know I've been listening to local radio. I don't think it's going to happen, though. They said they were talking about how well Mac Jones would fit well in Tampa in a Bruce Arians style offense. So I don't think he'll fall that far unless the Bucs move up. That's not going to happen at 32.
Why would? Yeah, they don't have enough to. You'll be mortgaging the farm for.
Yeah, for a quarterback. Yeah, exactly.
As I said on my show on Saturday, I do believe that San Francisco has bought the farm.
Yeah.
They have Ajay Vera Tucker, the offensive. The OG from USC going to Arizona to help out.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a great pick. At 16, right?
16, yeah. 16.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I could also see New England trading with Detroit, moving up to 7, swapping 15 for 7, and Detroit moving back and taking Quinny Pay.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I've speculated. Not that I am no prognosticator, and I certainly don't have a crystal ball. But
no,
my crystal ball's in the shop.
Oh.
Obviously, after the disaster that was my NCAA bracket, I sent it out to be recalibrated.
Right. That kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
They have Michael Parsons, the linebacker from Penn State, going 17 to the Las Vegas Raiders. So
I could see that happening. I could also see him going a lot higher than that.
The next one
he's a really
more talented than the 17th overall pick.
Definitely. I've seen him going as high as 7 to Detroit. It all depends on what full is he a knee biter?
Ow.
That for the uninitiated, that was part of Dan Campbell's original press conference when he was introduced as Detroit's new head coach. He said he wanted knee biters, and we're gonna get knocked down. We're gonna bite your kneecaps off on the way up.
Yeah.
It's gruesome, but
I know football's a violent game, but that's taking it too far.
Right?
I got to see him interviewed on Pat Mac's show. So
I've seen that interview. It's pretty great. He's a character, if nothing else. We can talk about him later.
Now we have the Dolphins again at 18. They have Azeez Ojulari, the edge rusher from Georgia, going
it's a good pick.
to them.
It's a good pick.
Defensively.
Yeah, definitely need help on the defensive line. One thing that you can get away with is having if you have a good defensive line that can get pressure with 4, you can get away with a weaker secondary.
And in that division, they really need that because, again, the Bills got better, the Patriots got better, and the Jets will probably get better with the draft that they make. So,
all the Jets fans out there hope they get better.
Yeah.
Yep. They have Washington taking Jeremiah Azawa Kumua.
Close enough. We'll go with it.
Probably, I think the best linebacker might be one of the best linebackers that's there in the draft this year. The junior out of Notre Dame. I got to watch him play against the USF Bulls this year. He hits hard. He's a very hard hitter. He hits hard.
That can be a problem in the NFL, though.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
The thing about when somebody is a hard hitter, all I can think of is Loomis down. God, I can't remember his safety. Played for the Lions, and he was a hard hitter. He'd fly to the ball more often than not. He was flying to the ball because he was out of position.
Okay.
And that would. I'm not saying that's a knock on the kid. I'm not saying I don't really know much about him. I hate Notre Dame, so, but that's one thing that I would say about somebody when somebody says they're a hard hitter, it's because they're out of position more often than not. So I'd be wary of that.
Well, actually, you know what? But now that I see this quarterback's name, he's been rumored to go to New England too. Is Kellen Mond from Texas A&M?
Okay.
They've been talking about that.
He's definitely a work in progress.
Yeah.
He's definitely. Where do they got him going? 20?
Well, that's what they said. The Bears they have them scouted to take Tevon Jenkins, the offensive tackle out of Oklahoma State.
That's a good pick. They need offensive line help.
Andy Dalton and possibly maybe Russell Wilson if he ever goes there.
That's not going to happen. It's already. They are no. I'm serious. They already said that they basically they offered him They offered Seattle the entire city of Chicago, and Seattle went nah. from what I've heard is Seattle, the Chicago offered him like 3 firsts, 2 seconds, a partridge in a pear tree, and 12 dancing ladies, and they were like nah.
Yeah.
Or do you think in the background Russell's like, yeah, I want to go to Chicago. No, that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Chicago.
As much as I hate it in Seattle,
I don't want to go there.
Right.
The next is at 21, and they have the Colts taking Kadarius Toney, the wide receiver out of Florida. Would that be a good weapon for Carson Wentz? And with T.Y. Hilton back, that would be a good weapon for Wentz in that offense.
I don't reckon.
Yep. They have the Tennessee Titans taking Terrence Marshall Jr., the wide receiver out of LSU. That'll help A.J. Brown and company, obviously.
Yeah. A.J. Brown left, didn't he? I thought he went somewhere else.
No, he's still there.
I thought they lost. They didn't. No, it was the other receiver, the one out of Central that they lost.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't remember his name now. He went to the Jets.
They have the Jets 23 taking Caleb Farley, the cornerback out of Virginia Tech, the CB out of Virginia Tech is who they have. Again, this is mock. This is
Corey Davis. That was his name.
Yeah,
obviously.
24, they have the Steelers taking Jalen Phillips, the edge rusher out of Miami, to help T.J. Watt. That'll definitely help that defensive line in Pittsburgh. At 25, the Jaguars taking Trevin Magrigue, the safety out of TCU. That's interesting. They're taking defense at their second pick.
That's a good pick. They just need help across the board. So
yeah.
The Browns taking Jason Awa, the edge rusher out of Penn State.
Okay. He's a beast.
The Ravens taking Mayfield, the Michigan offensive tackle.
Jalen Mayfield, yeah. It's a bit of a in my opinion, it's a bit of a reach, but Not too much. I have him as a high second rounder.
Okay.
I'm again, and I hate to be hard on the Michigan guys because I bleed blue as we all know, and I make no bones about it. But there were times again. He's another kid that would he gave up too many sacks. He was weak in the run games at times. At times he seemed unmotivated, and that could be more the coaching staff than the kid himself.
Right.
So I hate to be hard on my boys, but I have a job to do, and I have to be honest with you. And I think he's again, the late first round it's not like you're reaching too hard, but I think it's a bit of a stretch. You're not Mr. Fantastic over there taking him at number 3, but
yeah.
But it's still, I think it's a little early.
Okay.
But if he's the best guy on your board, then yeah, you take him.
They have the Saints taking Jermaine Davis, the linebacker out of Kentucky. So Saints.
I would go offensive line if I was the Saints. I might trade up to take Mayfield and get Mayfield and Ruiz together on the offensive line. Both played at Michigan.
To help out the wonderful quarterback duo they have in New Orleans now.
I didn't know they had a pair of quarterbacks in New Orleans.
Famous James. Taysom Hill.
The turnover machine. Bake me up another turnover there, Jameis, and the tight end comes in and plays quarterback. Lord. They may look to take Kyle Trask. Is that his name? Kid out of Florida. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay.
Kyle Trask. Yeah, that's the quarterback.
They may take him. They may take him at the end of the first round or the beginning of the second. They may trade down into the second round and take Kyle Trask.
Yep. Okay.
I'm not saying again. My crystal ball is in the shop, but
yeah.
Well, here we are again at 29, and that's for the Packers pick, right? So Look at this. Now listen to what this guy says right here. I mean, I know you want to take Kyle Trask here. There is no effing way the Packers take another quarterback first round. They have them taking Christian Darrisaw, the offensive tackle from Virginia Tech, which he'll replace David Bakhtiari, who they lost. They lost this year. So that would be what I would do, or I would draft a wide receiver because
I would either or go linebacker.
Aaron Rodgers needs some help.
Yeah, well, Aaron Rodgers.
But yeah, that's who they got.
Did they? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Number 30. This is a good pick. They have the Bills taking Travis Etienne, the one running back from Clemson. That's would help.
That's a great pick. If he's still there, that's a great pick. That's a freaking steal.
That would help. They have the Chiefs taking Liam Eichenberg, the offensive tackle out of Notre Dame.
They need help on the O-line. They've lost several key pieces on the O-line.
And I'm surprised at this one. They have the Buccaneers taking Asante Samuel Jr., the cornerback.
He's moved all the way up into the first round. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't
know. Who did they have Najee Harris going to Tampa or to Pittsburgh at 24?
Scan back up your foot and see. No, they had Jalen Phillips, 24. Najee Harris.
Now I've
where they have him.
I don't remember hearing his name called because I saw early in the mock drafts they had him going to Tampa Bay at 32, and that would be a dynamic pick.
No, I don't see his name, but in any of the picks, so they must not have had him.
That one. And they may have moved him down because of the fact that Tampa Bay re-signed their complement of running backs from last year.
Yeah, they brought back Leonard Fournette, and when they already had Ronald Jones in their contract, and they have Keyshawn Vaughn, the kid that they drafted last year out of Vanderbilt.
Right.
Help.
I didn't like that. I came on this show last year and said that was a stupid pick that they totally whiffed, and I was right.
Yeah, Jason Light. Messed up. Jason Light messed up on that one. But again,
I told you. I sat here on this very program, and I told you that the two best running backs in the draft were J.K. Dobbins and Jonathan Taylor. And what did they do? They had incredibly productive seasons.
Well, I can, I can vouch for Jonathan Taylor. I got to watch him play, so.
I watched that SOB run my team over for 4 effing years.
Yeah. And he ran over USF in that game. I got to see when they opened the season again.
Yeah. 4 years. 4 years I had to watch that SOB run my team over. And I told everyone that would listen and people that wouldn't listen that he was the best running back in the draft.
So jumping from the draft, it looks like they're thinking about possibly changing the onside kick and overtime rules.
I saw that they had made an adjustment to the overtime rules. I really didn't understand it. I don't really care.
It says the NFL is considering a rule change that would allow teams to maintain possession of the ball after a score by substituting one offensive play for an onside kick. Okay. The proposal submitted by the Philadelphia Eagles is among 11 that would be voted during the spring meetings. This one would allow teams to keep the ball by converting a 4th and 15 from their 25-yard line.
Right.
I don't like that. That'll never happen. That's almost less likely than an onside kick. See, I think if they're going to go to an offensive play, they should make it a 4th and 8.
Yeah.
From the 25.
4th and 15 now.
That's just ridiculous. A 4th and 15. How many 4th and 15s are converted in a not 1 year, but 10 years? Ooh, good Lord, that was rude.
Okay. The preface of live radio, folks.
Yes, right there, baby, right there.
I apologize for that. But how many 4th and 15s are converted in a decade, let alone in a single year?
About 5%.
If that.
You want to look let's look it up. Let's see how many 4th and 15s.
I'll say 5%.
I would. How many 4th and 15s are even attempted?
4th and 15 are there. Let's see here. By the numbers. Okay. Pro Football Weekly. Let's see. See what they said here.
Okay.
If I could spell, it would help.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, let's see. This is talking about them moving the ball to the 25-yard line. Oh, here we go. So here we are right here. 4th down success rates from 21 to 40, from the 21-yard line to the 40-yard line. So they have it predicted as, of course, if it's like between 4th and 7, there's a 30 to 70% rate. That's if you get to 4 to 15, it's just above 10%. Just above 10%.
Okay.
So that's, again, it's right about what you just said. It's very rare that you're going to see them convert a 4th and 15.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you're from your own 25. So you don't get it. Now other team's got the ball in your area, on your end of the field.
In prime position, man.
Prime position.
At the 25, you're looking at
hold on, I just want to see some
42-yard kick, give or take.
Yeah. And it says another proposal from the Ravens changes the overtime format and eliminates overtime in the preseason. Well, yeah, that would make. I don't know why you have overtime in the preseason. It allows the winner of the overtime coin toss to choose whether to spot the ball for the first play or start on offense or defense from a designated spot. Well, that's not too bad. I don't know why they just don't.
I think I like.
I don't know.
I see kicking. I see I see kickoffs being gone within the next 5 years anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think after a score, the ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line, and we'll just play ball from there.
Or they'll make you go for 2.
No. You kick the extra point.
Oh, okay.
And then.
Oh, no kickoffs at all.
No kickoffs at all.
Okay.
Kickoffs will be gone.
You gotta have the kickoff. It's part of the game.
They're getting rid of special teams every time you turn around. They're getting rid of something.
Right. They're making it harder and harder to play special teams anyway.
Yep.
Special teams is the most dangerous part of football.
It's also some of the most exciting plays you'll ever see, too, which makes no sense. I don't understand why they want to get rid of it, but that's a different story. That's probably
doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, no.
All right, all right. Explain to me again while I'm trying to look it up about the OT rule.
The overtime rule. Let me see. I was just had that up here. Hang on a second. Let me go back up there. The overtime rule is they want to change the overtime format. It would eliminate overtime in the preseason. It allows the winner of the overtime coin toss to choose whether to spot the ball for the first play or start an offensive or defense from the designated spot. So obviously it might be the 20, 30, something like that.
You win the toss, you can choose offense, defense, or where to spot the ball.
Correct.
So you can choose offense. You can spot the ball at the 1, your own 1, and then the other team gets to pick whether they play offense or defense.
Correct.
So if they choose defense, oh my god, that would be so weird. You just have to spot it at the 50 every time. So let's say you win the coin toss, right? You go on offense, right? The other team's gonna put the ball at your own 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Make you drive 99 yards. You've kicked the coin. You pick the coin. I'm
wondering if there's only so far you can only go so far back, where you can't
maybe
do and you can only go back to the 25, or that's it. You can't go back further than that to set them up, because you're right. You can pick 1 yard line and you can get a safety, and the game is over. Or something like that.
Or you. I don't. Stupid lawyers. That's what that is. Those are lawyer rules.
Yeah.
Those are the rules you write because lawyers have to be involved. See, because let's say you win the coin toss and you pick offense. The other team's going to put the ball on your 1. So you have to drive 99 yards. You win the coin toss, you put the ball on their 1, right? They're going to go on defense. Are they going to go on offense? I mean, because if you win the coin toss, you put it on their 1, they're screwed no matter what. Because if they go defense, then you're on their 1 yard line.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go offense, then they're on their own 1 yard line. So they either have to defend 1 yard or drive 99. I mean, it's the same thing. It's that same conundrum that you had when that back in the old days. I know 2005 being the old days is kind of ridiculous, but when you would win the coin toss and go on offense automatically, you would always go on offense. You would always go on offense because you only had to get down and kick a field goal to win the game. So if you pick, let's say, if you win the coin toss, you pick defense, they're going to put the ball in there. They'd have to really. Thank God I'm not in charge of making up things anymore. Or not that I ever was, but even less so now. And this, folks, if you ever come on the show and wonder why I drink, this right here is why I drink.
Yes.
Why don't we move to the ice? We'll move to the ice real quick and go through the scoreboard so far, and we'll go.
I'm sure I can find something to complain about that too.
Well, right now the Pens lead the Bruins 2-0 in the third period. The Rangers are up 2-1 over the Buffalo Sabres, who ended their 18-game losing streak last night.
Just to go on another one.
That's right.
The Islanders are up 7-4 over the Cap. God, that's a lot of goals in a game. 11.
Right, that's 11. We can do math.
The offense is up this year.
Columbus and Tampa Bay are tied at 1 in the third. Detroit is up 2-1 with the Panthers on a power play, unless that's now been expired.
No, the Panthers are just going on a power play.
Montreal's up 4-0 in the third period over the Ottawa Senators. Carolina's up 2-0 over Chicago. And the Stars and the Preds are tied at 1. And then the late game tonight is Minnesota going on the road to face the Golden Knights of Las Vegas. All right, so
apparently your Minnesotan is from France.
Minnesota.
Hey.
Yeah, sure.
So these are the power rankings as of, I guess, a day ago or something like that. So I'm sure they've changed. Okay. They have the Knights at 1, the Kings at 2, the Lightning at 3, the Avs at 4, the Capitals.
Avs at 4. Wow. Yeah. Okay. What was the change on the app? Are you looking at who?
This is ESPN. I'm looking at.
Okay. Where were the Avs last week?
They were at 5 last week, so they moved up.
Okay.
They have Minnesota at 6, Florida at 7, Pittsburgh at 8, Toronto at 9, the Islanders at 10, the Jets at 11, the Oilers at 12, Boston at 13, the Habs at 14, the Blues at 15. And guys, if you're wondering who the Habs are, that's the Canadiens, in case people don't know who that is.
Montreal.
The Predators are at 16, Arizona's at 17, the Rangers are at 18, the Flyers at 19, the Blackhawks at 20, the Kings at 21, the Stars at 22, the Canucks at 23, the Flames at 24, the Blue Jackets at 25, the Sharks at 26, the Devils at 27, the Red Wings at 28, the Sens at 29, and the Anaheim Ducks at 30. And pulling up the rear in 31 is the Buffalo Sabres.
What a shot.
So who they have.
Dumpster fire.
31.
Loser.
But I think with them, I think they have poor ownership that doesn't give a shit about their team.
Was that urinating tree that I was watching his video about Buffalo? Yeah. Didn't he do a follow-up?
There's another video too. You can watch the YouTube channel called The Hockey Guy. Watch his video about the
He's awesome. I love his content.
Yep, he sure is. So he's another one.
Yeah.
Hockey
now
stuff.
If we could only get him to shout us out instead of the other way around.
Yeah, that's true. It looks like the Blue Jackets just scored a goal, so they're up 2-1. Now the Lightning have lost 3 games in a row, so now it's time to worry here.
Now's the time to get a losing streak out of the way as you get ready for the playoffs.
True.
Mm-hmm. Although if you're Buffalo, forget it. You don't have a prayer.
Well, Buffalo, they waved bye-bye to their playoff hopes back when the season started.
It was a preseason.
To quote Coach McKay, we're only 3 or 4 plane crashes away from the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
Love Coach K.
Correct. Yeah. So what do we got? A month and a half left of hockey.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, that's about the
playoff start. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they should be getting ready.
I'm assuming, guys, that next year in both the NBA and NHL have full seasons again.
I hope so.
I would imagine.
Not this. I don't know. These shortened seasons have been fun, but
because baseball's gone back to their full season, so next year that both the NHL and the NBA would both go back.
Well, you hope that baseball has a season next year to begin with.
Yeah, no, that's
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah.
Can of worms.
Speaking of that, because
we can switch to baseball. Opening day, baby.
Opening day. Yep. It's opening day.
I gotta win, so I'm happy.
Major League Baseball. And let's real quick, as I had the scoreboard up, but let's bring it back up here real quick and look at the scoreboard again. There are still 3 games that have yet to get underway. The White Sox are playing the Angels at 10:05. The Astros are in Oakland to play the A's at 10:07. And the Giants are in Seattle to play the Mariners at 10:10. But here are the scores from earlier today. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees 3-2 in 10 innings. The Tigers beat the Indians 3-2. The Brew Crew beat the Twins 6-5 in 10.
Okay.
Pirates beat the Cubs 5-3. The Phillies beat the Braves 3-2 in 10 innings. The Rockies beat the Dodgers 8-5. The Padres beat the Diamondbacks 8-7. The Redbirds beat the Reds 11-6. The The Royals beat the Rangers 14-10. That's a lot of runs in that game. Jesus.
That's good baseball right there.
That's a football score right there.
Right there. That's a bad football game is what that is.
The Rays beat the Marlins 1-0 on a Austin Meadows eighth inning solo home run.
I heard that on the way home.
There were 2 games postponed. The Orioles and Red Sox were due to rain. And as Lewis was mentioning earlier, the Mets and the Nationals were postponed because one player got COVID and they postponed the game today and tomorrow.
I would have to
on Saturday.
I would have to imagine that they had contact tracing. And that's why they had to cancel the game, is that he had too many close contacts with people who were expected to play. I don't know.
So here are the predictions, guys, in the World Series and MVP and all that this year. Who they think is going to win. We'll start in the AL East. They have the Yankees winning the division.
Probably,
with the Jays and Rays right there with them. Overall,
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
The AL Central, they have the White Sox winning the division, which I can't see why that would be a bad pick.
Yeah,
that's good. The Twins would be the other team that I would take in that division.
Yeah.
Other than those two, that I don't see anyone else. Yeah, no. I don't think the Indians or the Royals or anybody else would be a surprise.
I'm excited to see what AJ Hinch can do with my Tigers, but I think it's a long road to hoe.
The AL West, they have the Astros picked to win. Oh, the Lightning just tied the game up. They have the Astros winning the AL West, and they have the Angels and A's possibly making a surprise in that division. So that only leaves Seattle out of that division. That just leaves the Mariners. So, and then the wild card teams, they have these are the votes. Now, these are votes who they think may do it. 21 people voted for the Twins, 16 for the Blue Jays, 9 for the Rays, 8 for the A's. The Yankees have 7. I don't know how I guess they can go in the division, but I doubt that. Angels 5, the White Sox 5, the Royals 2, and they gave the Astros 1 vote for the wild card spot. Okay, well, that's interesting. The website that I'm reading this from picked the Angels and the White Sox to be the AL wildcard teams this year.
I can see that.
So that would be
who they have winning the West?
AL West, the Astros. They have the Astros.
Okay. The West. I had the Astros falling off a cliff.
They have the A's and Angels, but he's pretty close behind them. So
I think the Oakland can win that division this year.
The A's?
Yeah.
Bob Melvin
really?
Melvin has that team playing very, very well.
Yeah.
The last few seasons, Oakland's been a very good baseball team.
Yeah, they're very competitive.
And we happen to know this. Buffalo just tied the game up with 5 seconds left to go in regulation.
Oh, that's the Sabres. That's the Sabres.
Yeah.
I'm going to hurl.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to hurl.
The NL East, they have the Braves winning the division. Then they have the Mets, Nationals, and Phillies are the following teams in that order. So who else got votes?
I like the Phillies.
They have, and the Phillies only 2. Oh, they score again, and it's 3-2. There we go. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna.
I like the Phillies to sneak up there and steal that second wild card.
The Central, they have the Red. Obviously.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be the Cardinals and the Brewers to be at the top of that division.
And that's who they got, bud. They have the Cardinals who got 23 votes, the Brewers 12 votes. Then the Cubs and Reds both got 1 vote. So somebody must be on crack. They think the Reds are going to be in the division. Just saying. Nothing against Cincinnati Red fans because I know you guys are hardcore, like a lot of people are.
But somebody's a homer.
Yeah, I would think so. NL West obviously is a defending World Series champion Dodgers, and they have the Padres as the closest pick to them. Obviously, because San Diego did a lot of they got a lot of free agents this year. They think they can. Possibly.
Yeah, I like the Padres to surprise some people and do absolutely nothing like they always do.
So the NL wild card, they have the Padres and the Mets as the two wild cards.
I have the Padres and the Phillies. I think the Phillies are going to surprise a lot of people this year. Yeah, I think Joe Girardi's got them headed in the right direction.
Then let's see, the Phillies, the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Brewers all got 1 vote. The Nationals and the Dodgers got 3 votes. But it's the Padres, Mets, Braves, which if the Braves don't win the division, yeah, I would guess that's where they would be.
Yeah, if the Braves don't win the division, then I think they'll be the one. But I don't see them losing the division. Not without a late season collapse. But that's Braves baseball for you. So
yeah.
The American League AL champion, they have the Yankees. 19 votes for the Yankees, 10 for the White Sox, 4 for the Twins, 2 for the Angels, 1 for each the Astros and the Rays, who I believe were in the AL championship game last year against each other.
The Yankees are going to be a tough out.
And then they said the National League is the Dodgers, and they give the Braves, Padres, Mets, and Cardinals votes.
I like the Dodgers and the Braves, as long as the Braves don't do the Braves thing and choke.
And then they have the Dodgers repeating as World Series champions.
It's tough to repeat. It's tough to repeat, so I'll take the Yankees.
And then they said American League. Who do you think the American League MVP will be? Who do you think they picked?
I have to go with 99 from the Yankees. His name is escaping me.
Aaron Judge.
David Judge. Aaron Judge, whatever his name is. Yes, Judge.
I'm sure Lewis would probably very much agree with you.
Yes, I would.
Unfortunately, these people do not agree with either one of you. They have been receiving votes, but not who they picked.
Well, they're wrong.
Mike Trout. That's who they have as the AL MVP this year.
Trout is so overrated, it's ridiculous.
They have Ohtani, Anderson, Cruz, Springer, Ramirez, Chapman, and Gleyber Torres also getting votes for.
Yeah, the Yankees are going to need Judge to swing a hot stick all year.
Yeah,
and stay healthy. That's going to be the big thing. Stay healthy. Now, who do you think they have for the National League MVP?
Freddie Freeman.
Well, Freddie Freeman is not even got a vote.
What?
Not even got a vote. Not according to these.
It's got to be a Dodger then.
No, actually, it's not a Dodger. It's a National. It's a National that they have picked. So let me narrow it down.
I didn't know the Nationals had any players.
Mr. Juan Soto.
Juan Soto, huh?
Juan Soto. They have.
I still like Freddie Freeman.
Juan Soto's cousin.
Jacob deGrom, Corey Seager, Francisco Lindor, Bryce Harper, Brando Tatis, and Pete Alonso also all got votes for that.
deGrom's gonna win the NLC Cy Young again.
No.
Who do you think is gonna win the AL Cy Young this year?
I don't know.
Lewis should know who this is. Who they picked? Garrett Cole and Garrett Cole.
Let's talk about that. Yes.
I don't think so.
They have.
I don't know.
The other
probably because I'm always wrong. So.
Lucas Chalato. I don't even sure who he plays for. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Then Shane Bieber.
I don't recognize the name.
Tyler Glasnow. He's a Rays pitcher. I don't know how he would do it.
Yeah.
They have deGrom winning the NL Cy Young with Bueller. Nola.
I think Blake Snell.
Go ahead. He's on here, buddy. Blake Snell's on here. Yeah.
Where isn't he in LA now?
He's in San Diego with the Padres.
I think Blake Snell will surprise. I think he's got a huge, massive chip on his shoulder, and he's going to throw gas all year.
Yeah,
he's going to come out ready to take heads after getting pulled in the 6th inning of the World Series. That was absolute. It was an utter. I don't even. I have no family-friendly words to describe what a mess that was.
Well, I'll give you one word of why they did that. Analytics. That's the only reason you got
the analytics is a 4-letter word around here.
Yeah. So, rookie of the year in the American League, they give it to Randy Arozarena, who's actually in his rookie year with the Rays.
Okay.
So they have him.
I wouldn't be. Now, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Vlad Jr. considered a rookie this year, or is he a sophomore?
I think he's sophomore year.
Okay.
They have,
I didn't know if he counted as a rookie because that's who I would have picked. But I would.
Andrew Vaughn, Jared, Nick. I don't even know any of these guys. Wander Franco. He's in the Rays minor league system. Ryan McCastle, Bobby DeBlick, Bobby Witt Jr., Casey Mize. I don't know any of these guys. So hopefully,
I don't recognize any of those names.
Hopefully, those guys make a name for themselves. That would be awesome to see some of those names.
Right.
We see.
Good luck with you. Good luck to all y'all.
Yeah, the National League Rookie of the Year would be Mr. Cabrian Hayes. I don't even know who he plays for. Does it say who he plays for?
I've never heard of that name.
No?
I don't follow college baseball or minor league baseball all that much, so.
Then you have Ian Anderson, Sixto Sanchez, Marlins, Dylan Castro, Hassan Kim, and Christian Posh are all the other ones that got votes for Rookie of the Year.
I don't recognize any of those names. So.
And the Lightning win 3-2.
Oh, nice.
We need Detroit to beat the Panthers.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Tied now, 2-2.
We played Detroit on Saturday.
I know. I heard that I was listening to the TV on your way home. On my way home, I was listening to your TV on the way home.
We played Detroit on Saturday.
I was like, oh, why do we have to play you guys on Saturday? I hate playing Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is my favorite. Is my second favorite team. I've always
Rangers win?
Yes.
I heard Lou go yes, so I'm assuming that the Rangers won.
Yeah.
Or scored a goal.
All right.
Overtime. Got
it. OT. All right.
That was a close one. We lost it within 4 seconds left in regulation, and we come back to win in overtime. Yes.
We got a minute 23 left with an offensive zone face-off. Are we done with all the? I apologize. I didn't get a chance to read the notes before. I was busy this afternoon. Are we done with all the topics? Because I have a topic. We got basketball. Do the basketballs.
I think I didn't add this one. I think I added it after I sent you guys the notes by accident. I forgot about the NBA. I don't know why, but I forgot.
That's okay. I forget about the NBA all the time.
The scoreboard goes as follows. Brooklyn is up 182 over Charlotte. Miami is over Golden State in the third quarter, 63-60. The Magic are up over the Pelicans without Zion, 67-59. Atlanta is over the Spurs, 54-48. Denver and the Clippers play later. Actually, they play in about 26 minutes. Detroit beat Washington 120-91. And the 76ers beat the Cavaliers 114-94.
Cavaliers is a joke.
So, and then here, real quick, we'll go through the power rankings real quick, and then we can go ahead and talk. Adam's topic, they have Utah at 1, Brooklyn at 2, Philadelphia at 3, Phoenix at 4, LA Clippers at 5, the Bucks at 6, the Nuggets at 7, the Lakers at 8, the Trailblazers at 9, Dallas at 10, San Antonio at 11, the Knicks at 12, the Celtics at 13, the Atlanta Hawks at 14, the Hornets at 15, Heat at 16, Indiana at 17, Memphis at 18, Golden State at 19, Pelicans at 20, Kings at 21, Bulls at 22, OKC at 23, Toronto at 24, Washington at 25, Cleveland at 26, Orlando at 27, Detroit at 28, Houston at 29, and the Minnesota Timberwolves pull up the rear at 30. And that is the NBA power rankings. So, and that is it.
I don't mess with the basketballs too much, but I like basketball. Basketball's okay. It's okay. I like.
Houston Rockets are, because they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
They're Buffalo Sabres bad.
Yeah.
I like playoff
too.
I really like playoff bat. Again, I love the tournament. I'll watch the first couple of weeks of the NBA.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a grind. And I can't. I love hockey, and so hockey's up against basketball, and so hockey's going to win every time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pay. I pay for the NHL TV. I don't pay for the MLB basketball TV. Freak me.
NBA TV.
I got my own.
I don't. I want to watch my Red Wings. I don't really care about the Pistons, especially since they're terrible. I'd rather watch my god awful Wings than my god awful Pistons. I pay $30 a month for this nonsense, but then I get to watch all the hockey.
I got my own ways to watch any game I want.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so
suckers.
Wow. I'm not a criminal, so I kid. But I do have. I can twirl my mustache. Not well, but I can. So I. And when I don't have a mustache anymore to twirl.
No, I mean because I had the mustache when I was your age.
I'm lazy, and so I love, and it works for me. Makes me look. Yeah. I've had a beard since I was 18 because if I shaved when I looked like when I was 18, I was like 9. I go in for a pack of smokes and I still get carded. Yes, I'd like one. Right. Sometimes I still get carded no matter where I go, even with the beard, but that's okay. Now I start to feel I'm like when the little old ladies. I used to work as cashier when the little old ladies would come up and can I see your ID, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're so sweet." Maybe I should lay off the beer. I don't know. Maybe I need another one. The night is young.
Give it up. Line it up.
Line them up and knock them down. Okay, so I actually had something I wanted to bring up here in the closing, and I'm going to delve into it next week on my show in a lot more detail because there's no show this week because I'm going out of town because it's Easter and my baby girl wants me to spend Easter with her, and you don't tell her no because she's 3. So there's that. So I actually have 2 things. The first thing, and I should have saved the thing I saw. But there was I want to say he was a wrestler for Stanford. I believe he's a Stanford wrestler. And he wrestled on no ACL. He blew out both his ACLs and continued to wrestle. And he did that for several months or if not years. And I can understand playing a game or two or wrestling a match or two without, on bad knees. I can get that. I can get behind that. That's just cutting it out, stepping up, and just taking a risk. I can understand that. That's laudable. But to do that over the course of months or years is just stupid. I'm sorry. I don't care how good you are at your particular profession, but to put your body at risk for something that is temporary, like an NCAA championship, that you can't do anything with that when you get out of school, right? No one asks you when you struggle to get upstairs a flight of stairs. When you go up a simple flight of stairs, and you have to have a cane and 2 canes and hold onto the rails at the same time. That's just stupid. It's just stupid. I'm sorry, but there's nothing smart or brave or courageous about that to put your future at risk for something that is incredibly temporary as an NCAA championship. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I can understand it in the heat of the moment to continue to go after it, but to not disclose it to your doctors, the people that are supposed to take care of you, it's incredibly foolish, in my opinion. Open the floor to you guys and hear what you want. I'm curious what you guys have to say.
Yeah,
I would agree with you, but I don't think. I mean, that's not even an Olympic event anymore. So what are you going for? You can't get a gold medal anymore because they took it out of the Olympics. So yeah, I agree with you. Why would your basically again, even your afterlife after you leave wrestling, you can't walk. How?
Right. No,
you can't do anything. So you're gonna be in a wheelchair or walk with a cane for the rest of your life. Was that worth it? I don't know. No.
And I'm very much I very much can sympathize with the guy who's in his last match. And he blows out an ACL and he just guts it out. I can get behind that. I can say that's laudable, that's courageous, that's brave. It's all those other adjectives that describe something that as such. But to put your whole life at risk over the course of months or years is asinine in my opinion. And what kind of example do you set for other young people in your same position to put your health and your something that's only going to be a fleeting moment in your life for the rest of and to put the rest of your life at risk, in jeopardy for something that's only temporary is completely ridiculous to me. Again, I want to say this. I want to stress this. Emphasize and stress this. I understand in a single match or a single game, taping it up, taking a shot, and getting back in there. I get that. Playing on a broken leg for one game or even a series of games, even 2 or 3 games, I can understand that. That's crazy, but it's sports. I get it. I understand. But to go so long without telling your doctors, the people that are supposed to take care of you, that are supposed to treat you, and you would treat them like they're nobody, like they're a bunch of a-holes who don't care about you. Their only job is to make sure that when you get done doing this, that you can have a life. Especially with wrestling. Wrestling there's no professional wrestling. There's no Greco-Roman professional wrestling.
No.
Right.
Because there's obviously professional wrestling, but that's all rigged. It's a work. Until it turns into a shoot, and then sometimes even a shoot is a work.
Right.
But okay, and the other thing I had that I wanted to bring up, and again, this is the topic that I want to elaborate on my show next week because there won't be a show this week, is the transfer pool and how much I hate the transfer pool. I absolutely detest the transfer pool. It is ridiculous that I had to beg permission from the NCAA to leave school and go somewhere else. This was about 15 years ago. I was in my early teens, to date myself, and I was a big believer in the having to sit out a year. I thought it was going to help college football, smaller programs, the Central Michigans, the Marshalls, the Western Upper Pennsylvania State University. I thought it would really help those schools to continue to have good players throughout their and continue to build programs and have throughout their career. That was the word I was looking for. So a guy like a Randy Moss or a Brett Favre would stay at those schools. But in all honesty, all it's done is you have guys sit on a bench for 3 years behind somebody and have to transfer. Joe Burrow should not have to beg permission from the NCAA to transfer schools, to go from sitting behind. Help me here. Who's the first guy? Dwayne Haskins, and then to sit behind Justin Fields for 3 years. He shouldn't have to go to the NCAA and say, "Hey, can I please go play at OSU?" If you see it in your heart to go and let me play. The reason I hate, and the other thing I hate about the transfer pool is it's unfair, and athletes should have to stay at the school that they originally enrolled at. And the reason I bring it up is because, again, I'm a Michigan guy. Go Blue. Right. Michigan's had several transfers over the last several months. And the most recent one was Giles Jackson. He decided to enter the transfer pool. He wants to go somewhere where he can get playing time. And he let me ask you guys this question. If your boss came to you and said, "Hey, we have this other guy who's better at your job, and we're reducing your role, we're cutting your hours. Yeah, you can stay here. You're not getting fired, but you're gonna have fewer hours and a reduced capacity and a reduced role, and you're mostly just gonna be here Monday through Wednesday in the early afternoon, and that's all you're gonna do." How long would you stay at that job?
Lewis, go right ahead.
Well, yeah, I get it. You feel like you're being gypped, because you're being outvoted by somebody else who's better. But as long as they still need you, I mean, I think you can stay there. I mean, they did it at my job; they had to cut my hours, but I still stayed there anyway. Because you need the job, you need the security. So,
but
if you can get something better, yeah. But if you're not going to get anything better, you just might as well stay there, because otherwise you're not going to go anywhere.
I want to hear. Okay, go ahead, Brad, and then I'm going to follow that up because I have a comment that I want to make about Lou's point.
Well, again, the thing with the transfer portal obviously is it comes down to, yes, should players stay where they originally sign a letter of intent or get a scholarship? Absolutely. I think in some cases, though, what happens is a new coach comes in to play and they don't fit the system, so they figure, hey, I can transfer somewhere else. I mean, again, I wrote an article and I actually got eaten for breakfast because I told everyone that USF was a small school. Well, we got all these 5-star, recruits through transfer. I said, yes, but you don't go get 5-star. They don't go after 5-star recruits that often. Now, did I say that Jeff Scott can't get them? No. Jeff Scott has the ability to get the 5-star guys. The problem is it's hard to sell 5-star recruits to come to your school over the big three that are here in my state, or the Alabamas, or the Clemsons, or the Michigan, or the Georgia, because of the fact that they've won national championships. So in a way, the transfer portal does help certain schools, but on the flip side of it, it does hurt the bigger schools because, again, if you don't fit the system, you run somewhere else. Again, you run away to somewhere else where you think you're going to get more playing time. So that's my opinion on that.
Right.
Okay. So I wanted to follow up Lou's point and yes. Okay, so you have other would you continue to work at that job while you still had the ability, you start putting out resumes and seeing what else is available. And that's again, and to follow up what I was saying, as like you were saying, you have coaches come in, coaches go, coaches can go wherever they want, whenever they want, and do whatever they want. PJ Fleck, who was at Western Michigan, built that program into something special. As soon as he got a better offer from Minnesota, he was gone. Now, I'm not saying that PJ Fleck should have stayed at Western Michigan. That is not my argument. I understand having a better opportunity and taking it. My argument, my opinion, is that if coaches are able to transfer, they don't have to sit out a year. They don't have to wait for a year. They don't have to beg the NCAA to let them coach at another school. They can just, I'm breaking my contract. I'm leaving Western Michigan. I'm signing a new contract with Minnesota. I'll be the head coach at Minnesota next year. Go Gophers. And we're rowing the boat to Minnesota. Why should it be any different for players? Why should players have to beg the NCAA? And now your Shane Pattersons of the world, who are top 5, are potential, who were seen as potential top 5 prospects at the time. They don't have to, they get a waiver, right? Joe Burrow's, he got a waiver. He didn't have to sit out a year. I understand that, but why should anyone? The idea was that the smaller schools like Western Michigan, Central Michigan, Marshall, cough, whatever university that may be, take your pick, your UCFs or whatever. Those schools were going to be able to retain top talent, and we're going to be able to build their programs. And I thought, okay, that's a great idea. You can't just go to you can't go to where did Cam Newton go? He went to a community college for 2 years, right? Before he went to he was at Florida, and then he got in trouble at Florida, and then he went to school for 2 years at some community college, and then he transferred back to Auburn, won a national title, went on to make millions of dollars. The idea, and at the time I thought it was a great idea. Now having had 15 or 20 years looking on it, I don't understand why players should be treated any different than any other one in any program. In my opinion.
No, if you do enter the transfer portal, you should be able to play immediately. You shouldn't have to wait a year. You should be able to play immediately for your team. And I think there have been, I think last year, Bud, there was someone with USF that transferred and they had to get a special
waiver,
permission from the NCAA, and they allowed him to play. He got he got cleared like 3 days prior to their first game. I mean, so you talk about like waiting until the last minute to clear somebody. That's about what they did. So
right, and again, for me, it I understand where the NCAA was coming from initially. The idea that, the Marshalls of the world, and I don't mean to pick on Marshall, but those smaller schools like Colorado State or Central Michigan or Minnesota State, take your pick on the smaller schools. That the idea was that they were going to be able to retain top talent. Right. Well, the problem is that these are people. We forget at certain points, we forget that they're actually people who have lives, and they're, understand you can get a waiver, but what if what if you enroll at Michigan for a year and you find out that the coursework is too hard, or that the schedule is just not something it's not conducive to your study habits? Well, I still want to play football under the proviso that I know I'm probably not going to go play NFL football, but I want to get a good education. Why can't, I like Eddie McDoon. He ended up transferring down to UCF or USF. I'm sorry, the Bulls. He transferred down to your school. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he didn't. I can't remember if he had to sit out a year. I believe he did have to end up sitting out a year. Why? Why do a coach doesn't have to sit out a year? A linebacker coach can go from, the linebackers coach at USF, right? He can go to be the defensive coordinator at Clemson. Doesn't have to wait a year. Mm-hmm. Why? Okay, so we're gonna treat and we're talking about, age of majority is 18, right? Age of consent is 18. You're an adult now, right? We're talking about, kids being an operative word in that sentence, who are, young men at this point, yes, and we're expecting them to make all these decisions about financial and business and career, and yet we don't want to let them make decisions. You have to beg permission from the NCAA, the overlords at the NCAA, to make those decisions. I saw a headline on Facebook this afternoon about how 69% or 70% of ADs don't want to share revenue with the players. Like, wow. Yeah. Imagine that. These guys don't want to give up their money to the guys that actually make them their money. Yeah. Pricks.
Oh, the NCAA makes more money than any of the major leagues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you guys this question. Who do you think is the number one university that sells more memorabilia than any other school in the U.S.? Take a
Texas.
shot. Good. That's the winner right there.
What is
Texas Longhorns. Texas. Because their logo, that bull logo, is on everything. And not just on Texas stuff, it's on everything. The horns are on everything. So they sell the most of anybody out there. And again, when was Texas relevant? When have they been relevant? Yeah, I mean, they've been relevant in the last decade. So I don't know. I'm just saying.
And yet they're on TV almost every week.
Yep. I mean, the only time you ever
they're a spotlight team almost every week.
Yep. And they play Oklahoma is the only time.
I really feel for these young men who are supposed to be the future of our country, and the future leaders and influencers of our world, I guess is the word I would use. And yet we treat them like they're children, like they're dumb jocks. All they can do, and they need permission from their overlords at the NCAA to decide their future for them. Mm-hmm. And yet these other people, who some of them who are only a decade older than them, are allowed to do whatever they want, essentially.
Yep. It is. It's a shame. It's a shame with the way the rules are set up.
Yeah. Another smoke. Ugh. That was my soapbox rant for the evening, among the other many that I've had.
Real quick, guys, there's about 5 minutes left. If you guys want to talk about your shows coming up, you guys have the floor. You go right ahead.
All right. Enhanced Sports Show, Saturdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The number to call is 512-543-4662. Number again, 512-543-4662. We got the Final Four covered. We'll get the NIT covered as well. Yes, I will cover that. The opening day of MLB baseball. See how your teams have stacked up and see how some have not. We'll also cover the monthly standings as we usually do at this time of the month. NHL and NBA news. I also got some Olympic news to mention, and it's not all that great though. Take a look. Yeah, you might know where I'm going with this too. So if you listen in on Saturday, you might know. And we'll have our regular features. The question of the week. I have a great ridiculous time of the week too. I think you're going to enjoy. Maybe. And again, it depends if you're a fan. Nope, no, I can't give it away. But you might know. If you listen in, you might know. And we'll have This Week in Sports History, the lighter side of sports, and anybody wants to give Easter and Passover wishes, welcome to do so. So I hope you get a chance. If you can't, at least call in, try to tune in, and go look at an Uber. Go look at Pat's conferences, and you'll see my show up there from previous weeks. So you can try to listen on that way.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So I debuted a new show last week on my other YouTube channel. So I'm going to plug that too because you said it was free to plug. It's a nerd podcast. That's you can check out the channel. It's the Nerd and Beyond. It's new. It's all movies, music, entertainment of that media. So that's a new channel. It's a new thing I'm doing. Episode 1 premiere was a Star Wars centric episode last week.
When do you do this?
Usually after this show on Thursdays.
Oh.
I haven't really knocked down a time for that show yet.
Okay.
But it's a work in progress.
Yeah, because I think I got to run over another podcast actually that I'm restarting up. So I gotta take care of that. Otherwise, I'm a dead duck.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the Nerd Stream Belaboring the Point is the name of that show. Because I kind of belabored the point quite a bit last week. And then this, which has been canceled for tonight because I got up early morning. 2:00 comes awfully quick. So yeah, then a 5-hour drive ahead of me after that. So like I said, I'm going to see my baby girl. She's 3, and she says, "Nat, I need to see you," and I hop too. So I'm gonna go see her and her mom this weekend. And so there's no show on Saturday. Then I'll be back next Saturday, the 10th, and I should have all 3 of my shows I should be on. I'll be on this one on the 8th, and then my nerd show on the later, shortly after this, and then I'll be back on the 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, Western, whatever the hell time, Pacific. If you need any help, Google it, figure it out for yourself. I can't help you any after that. Okay. Then the week after that, I will be on this show only. I got a busy month. At least I'm planning on being on the show. I may or may not be, so I'll let you know whether I'm going to be. Feel free to have a show without me. It'll probably be better that way. And then so there would be no other shows that week. Then the week after that, I'll be back on this show. I'll have all 3 shows again. So that'll be this show, my nerd show shortly after this show, and then my Saturday show 10 to noon. And then the week after that, I will be on this show only. And because I got a wedding to go to, so no Saturday show and no nerd show. And then after that, I don't know. We'll see. That's me belaboring the point again, as always.
All right.
Well, guys. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Again, guys, thank you. This has been the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. I am the main host, and these are my fabulous co-hosts that I have every week. That we've done this since November of last year, which has been great. If you guys want some In the Zone gear, head over to squadlocker.com and type in the Zone Sports Talk Radio in the search bar to get your gear. The show, guys, is sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com. That is the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, decluttering, pet sitting, and it's about finding peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And guys, remember, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. And guys, if you did not get a chance to watch this show or my show now, the Sunshine State Sports Ever is moving to Friday nights, 9 to 10 p.m. I will send out the link to both of you gentlemen if you guys have time to get on there. That's great. If you do not, that's fine. That is an all Florida sports podcast. We'll be talking national sports.
I got good night.
So, but other than that, guys, before I go, Lewis jumped off there. Before I go, as I always do, I want to thank the first responders, doctors and nurses who have been the true heroes since the pandemic started a year ago. Vaccines are now finally starting to go out for everybody. Thank goodness. Thank God for all that.
And as soon as I can.
Get back to normal, what the new normal will be like. And then again, as I always do to the men and women of our armed services, as I would not be able to be on a podcast 3 days a week without you fine women and men doing what you guys do. To our, both active, retired, and the ones who have left us, thank you for your sacrifice, because we wouldn't be able to do what we do without you guys doing what you do. And then again, to the police officers, firefighters, and paramedics, thank you for keeping us safe domestically. But until then, guys, I will be back here next week. I will be on the Sunshine State Sports Jabber tomorrow night for the very first time on a Friday night. It's going to be there permanently. Makes it easier for me. Then I don't have to come.
Second time.
I don't have to come in off the weekend and have
first time permanently, second time overall.
And then
if you missed anything during the show and you want to rewatch it, don't forget to check out the YouTube channel, The Sports Nerd Bradley Walker.
Yep, that's where both of these shows will be in its entirety over there. With that in mind, guys, I am going to get off of here. See you guys. I'll be back on Bullseye on Tuesday. We took the night off this past Tuesday. I enjoyed the USF spring game, which I will be going into fine detail about tomorrow night. Actually, I was at the stadium talking to my co-host here all the way up to the parking lot until I lost the internet and tried to get back in the stadium, and it was too loud to talk to him once I sat in my seat. But anyway, guys, until next week, everyone stay safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Easter to everyone who celebrates Easter. Until then, guys, we will clock out. Peace.
Deuces.